All right. All right. So let's just get settled into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Ah. And both feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart. Align your shoulders with your hips. And just feel the weight of the sensation of the feet on the floor, your hands in your lap, and see if you can align your ears with your shoulders. And just imagine your spine is this a beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just lengthen your spine. Trying to put some space in between the vertebrae. And then go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the back of the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, the back of the tongue. Relax the jaw. Relax the back of the head and allow your shoulders and your shoulder blades to drop down. And relax your throat, chest, and belly, and all of your limbs. Take a nice deep breath and just, be aware of the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. And just notice the sensation of the air as you're breathing in through your nostrils, the sensation of the breath around the chest cavity, and then, of course, the belly. And, there may be sound in your environment. So just, if you hear a sound, just allow it to be there. Try not to follow with the mind. It goes for any distractions, smells, distractions on your screen. And then just be aware of what's in your mind this evening or today, depending on where you are. Just notice those thoughts arising, abiding, and just let them go. Try not to cling on to the emotion of around a particular story. And then just, if you happen to be having some little story or a projection into the future, just maybe check in to see whether it's even a real thing. And then bring to mind all the people of our life, our loved ones, the ones that we're very close to and that we adore and we think have all this beautiful potential, the ones we don't like at all. And then we have these strangers, who we kind of come across on a daily basis. And just remembering that due to this impermanence, these relationships, can change. They can be interchangeable. And regardless of how you feel about anyone on any particular time of day, these people are just like you and me. They're absolutely no different in that they want to be happy and they don't want to suffer. And they all have this incredible capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think we'll do this meditation for all these people of our life, and by extension, all the sentient beings. So this practice of Vajrasattva is done in the context of the four opponent powers. So we start by thinking there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want their future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So our little section on compassion, developing compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result in suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power of remedy. And this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we use visualization and mantra to do this particular part of the practice. So Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. So this is the purification of our body. And it enters your crown and pours into your entire body and fills you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body. At this time, forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta me boa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa maha samaya seta a hum pe hum vajra sapa samaya manupalaya vajra sapa dina patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa maha samaya seta a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita, jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sabasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa maha samaya seta a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa maha samaya seta a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa maha samaya seta a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita, jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam triyam guru hum ha ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sata a hum. Hey. Again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next, our mind. Purify our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. Sorry, I just got an email. So it's the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on a switch and the light comes instantly. So the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart, and instantaneously all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and anger and bitterness and grudges and depression, resentment, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita, jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa maha samaya sata a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mebi yatsa sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So again, be really delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others, with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So now the purification of even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. So the nectar flows down, pushing out all the negativity of the body. Then the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech. And then the light comes and just blasts all of the delusions. And in this way, we completely eradicate even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from our consciousness. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama me, sitam triyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, dida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So now feel you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. Now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process, and it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So think everything exists on the tip of the wish. So we just have to want to do this. We have to decide. So think of something you would like to decide to work on. Could be eating too much sugar when you already know your blood sugar level is too high. Could be, the way you use your speech. Could be anything. Something that's specific to you. And then imagine Vajrasattva's really delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma, and there is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you have created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. All right, let's do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Paid homage to the true awakened one, protector, blessed one, Tathagata, and joining his two palms respectfully, he said before the Lord the following: O omnipresent Lord, for my well-being, with due concern for me and for my sake, that I may reach complete awakening upon the basis of illusion's net, and for the sake of every living being sunk deep into the mud of ignorance, their thoughts disturbed by various afflictions, so that they may obtain the highest fruit. Okay. All right, everybody. Lots of love.